Welcome to our channel. In today's video, we will delve into national laws on the rights and responsibilities of the child. Whether you're just starting your journey in education or looking to refine your teaching skills, this session will provide you with valuable insights and practical strategies to enhance your classroom experience. We'll cover key areas stipulated within the competency-based curriculum in Diploma Teacher Training Syllabus for Sociological and Philosophical Foundations of Education as certified by the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's embark on this journey to becoming a more effective and inspiring educator. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos. Let's get started. National laws on the rights and responsibilities of the child are legal frameworks that establish the rights and obligations of children within a particular country. These laws aim to protect children from harm, promote their development, and ensure that their voices are heard and their interests are represented in decisions that affect them. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, UNCRC, is an international treaty that sets out the rights of children which has been ratified by almost all countries in the world. Many national laws on the rights and responsibilities of the child are based on the UNCRC or incorporate its principles. These laws typically cover a wide range of areas such as health, education, child protection, family law, and juvenile justice. They may include provisions that ensure children have access to healthcare, education, and social services and are protected from abuse, neglect, and exploitation. National laws on the rights and responsibilities of the child also establish the responsibilities of parents, caregivers, and other adults who interact with children. These responsibilities may include providing for children's basic needs, protecting them from harm, and respecting their rights and autonomy. Overall, national laws on the rights and responsibilities of the child play an important role in promoting the well-being and development of children and ensuring that they are treated with dignity and respect. Having established that introductory part, let's familiarize ourselves with the national laws on the rights and responsibilities of the child in schools. National laws on the rights and responsibilities of the child apply in schools to ensure that children's rights are protected and their welfare is prioritized. Below are some of the ways national laws apply in schools. 1. Right to education. The right to education is a fundamental right of every child. National laws mandate that every child should have access to quality education without discrimination. Schools are required to provide a safe and conducive environment for learning and ensure that children are not subjected to physical or emotional harm, bullying, or discrimination. 2. Child protection. Schools have a duty of care towards children and are required to provide a safe and secure environment for learning. National laws mandate that schools should protect children from physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. They should also have policies and procedures in place to handle cases of child abuse and ensure that all staff members are trained to identify and report cases of abuse. 3. Inclusive education. National laws require schools to provide inclusive education to children with disabilities. Schools should ensure that children with disabilities have access to the same educational opportunities as their peers, and reasonable accommodations should be made to facilitate their learning. 4. Participation. Children have a right to express their views and opinions on matters that affect them, including their education. National laws require schools to provide opportunities for children to participate in decision-making processes that affect their education, such as school governance and policy making. 5. Discipline. National laws mandate that schools should have disciplinary policies that are fair and proportionate. Schools should not subject children to corporal punishment or any form of degrading treatment. Instead, schools should adopt positive discipline techniques that promote good behavior and respect for others. In conclusion, national laws on the rights and responsibilities of the child play a crucial role in protecting children's rights in schools. Schools should abide by these laws to ensure that children's well-being and development are prioritized and their rights are respected and upheld. Next, we take a closer look at the rights and responsibilities of the child in the Constitution of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya recognizes and protects the rights of the child and stipulates the responsibilities of the government, parents, and society to ensure that these rights are upheld. Some of the key rights and responsibilities of the child as stipulated in the Constitution of Kenya include: 1. Right to life. The Constitution of Kenya recognizes the right to life of every child and mandates the government and society to protect the child's right to life from conception. 2. Right to a name and nationality. Every child has a right to a name and nationality. The Constitution of Kenya requires parents and society to ensure that every child is registered immediately after birth and given a name. 3. Right to family and parental care. Every child has a right to parental care and protection and to live with their parents or guardian. The Constitution of Kenya mandates the government to provide support to parents and guardians in fulfilling their responsibilities towards the child. 4. Right to education. Every child has a right to free and compulsory basic education. The Constitution of Kenya mandates the government to provide access to quality education for every child and to promote free and compulsory basic education. 5. A right to health. Every child has a right to basic health care services including immunization, medical treatment, and healthcare education. The Constitution of Kenya mandates the government to provide access to quality healthcare services for every child. 6. Protection from child labor. The Constitution of Kenya prohibits child labor and mandates the government and society to protect children from exploitation, abuse, and harmful work. 7. Protection from abuse, neglect, and exploitation. Every child has a right to protection from all forms of abuse, neglect, and exploitation, including sexual exploitation, child trafficking, and harmful cultural practices. The Constitution of Kenya mandates the government and society to protect children from all forms of abuse, neglect, and exploitation. 8. Participation. Every child has a right to participate in matters that affect them and to have their opinions heard and considered. The Constitution of Kenya mandates the government to provide opportunities for children to participate in decision-making processes that affect their lives. In conclusion, the Constitution of Kenya recognizes and protects the rights of the child and mandates the government, parents, and society to ensure that these rights are upheld. Children also have responsibilities towards their families, communities, and society, including respecting the rights and freedoms of others and contributing positively to their communities. Now we shall explore the child rights and responsibilities in the Children's Act and the Basic Education Act. The Children's Act and the Basic Education Act are two important pieces of legislation in Kenya that address the rights and responsibilities of children in different areas of their lives. Below are some of the ways in which these two acts relate to child rights and responsibilities. 1. Right to education. Both the Children's Act and the Basic Education Act recognize the right to education of every child. The Basic Education Act mandates the government to provide free and compulsory basic education to all children, while the Children's Act mandates parents and guardians to ensure that their children attend school. 2. Child protection. Both acts have provisions that protect children from harm, abuse, and exploitation. The Children's Act provides for the protection of children's rights, welfare, and interests, while the Basic Education Act has provisions that prohibit corporal punishment and require schools to provide a safe and secure learning environment. 3. Inclusive education. The Basic Education Act provides for inclusive education for children with disabilities, while the Children's Act mandates the government and society to provide special protection, care, and assistance to children with disabilities. 4. Participation. Both acts recognize the right of the child to participate in matters that affect them. The Children's Act provides for the participation of children in decisions that affect them, while the Basic Education Act mandates schools to involve students in school governance and decision-making. 5. Responsibilities. The Children's Act recognizes the responsibilities of parents and guardians towards their children, including providing for their basic needs, protecting them from harm, and ensuring their well-being. The Basic Education Act recognizes the responsibility of schools to provide quality education and a safe and conducive learning environment for all children. In conclusion, the Children's Act and the Basic Education Act complement each other in addressing the rights and responsibilities of children in Kenya. Both acts aim to protect children from harm, promote their development, and ensure their voices are heard and their interests are represented in decisions that affect them. To further understand this topic, let's apply child rights and responsibilities as spelled out in the Constitution of Kenya, Basic Education Act, and the Children's Act. Applying child rights and responsibilities as spelled out in the Constitution of Kenya, Basic Education Act, and the Children's Act involves a collective effort from the government, parents, schools, and the society at large. Below are some ways in which child rights and responsibilities can be applied using these acts. 1. Right to education. The Basic Education Act mandates the government to provide free and compulsory basic education to all children, and parents and guardians have a responsibility to ensure that their children attend school. To apply this right, the government should provide adequate resources to ensure that all children have access to quality education, while parents and guardians should encourage and support their children's education. 2. Child protection. The Children's Act and Basic Education Act provide for the protection of children from harm, abuse, and exploitation. To apply this right, schools should provide a safe and secure learning environment free from violence and discrimination, while parents and guardians should protect their children from harm, including abuse and neglect. 3. Inclusive education. The Basic Education Act provides for inclusive education for children with disabilities, while the Children's Act mandates the government and society to provide special protection, care, and assistance to children with disabilities. To apply this right, schools should ensure that children with disabilities have equal access to education, while the government and society should provide resources to support their education and development. 4. Participation. Both acts recognize the right of the child to participate in matters that affect them. To apply this right, schools should involve students in decision-making processes that affect their education and well-being, while parents and guardians should encourage their children to express their views and opinions. 5. Responsibilities. The Children's Act recognizes the responsibilities of parents and guardians towards their children, including providing for their basic needs, protecting them from harm, and ensuring their well-being. To apply this responsibility, parents and guardians should provide for their children's basic needs, ensure their safety and well-being, and encourage their development and education. 6. Best interest of the child. The Children's Act places the best interest of the child as the primary consideration in all matters concerning children. This means that decisions made regarding a child's life and well-being should prioritize what is best for the child. To apply this right, parents, schools, and the government should consider the child's interests and needs when making decisions that affect them. 7. Right to health. The Constitution of Kenya recognizes the right to health of every child. To apply this right, the government should provide access to quality health care services for all children, while parents and guardians should ensure their children receive proper medical attention when necessary. 8. Non-discrimination. The Constitution of Kenya and the Children's Act prohibit discrimination against any child on any grounds, including race, gender, disability, religion, or social status. To apply this right, schools should provide equal opportunities to all children regardless of their backgrounds, while parents and guardians should instill values of respect and acceptance of diversity in their children. 9. Freedom of expression. The Constitution of Kenya recognizes the freedom of expression of every child. To apply this right, schools should provide a platform for children to express their views and opinions freely and respectfully, while parents and guardians should encourage their children to express themselves and provide a supportive environment for them to do so. 10. Right to play and leisure. The Children's Act recognizes the right of every child to play and engage in leisure activities. To apply this right, schools should provide opportunities for children to participate in recreational activities, while parents and guardians should encourage their children to engage in play and leisure activities that promote their development and well-being. In conclusion, applying child rights and responsibilities as spelled out in the Constitution of Kenya, Basic Education Act and the Children's Act requires a collective effort from all stakeholders involved in the well-being and education of children. By ensuring that children's rights are upheld and responsibilities are fulfilled, we can create a safe, supportive, and inclusive environment for every child to thrive. Finally, let's uphold the legal provisions on the rights and responsibilities of the child in school. Upholding legal provisions on the rights and responsibilities of the child in school requires a collective effort from all stakeholders involved in the education and well-being of children. Below are some ways in which legal provisions can be upheld in schools. 1. Provide a safe and secure environment. Schools should ensure that children are safe and secure while on campus. This includes ensuring that the school environment is free from violence, bullying, discrimination, and harassment. Teachers and school administrators should also be trained to identify and report any cases of child abuse, neglect, or exploitation. 2. Promote inclusive education. Schools should ensure that children with disabilities have access to quality education on an equal basis with other students. This includes providing accommodations and support services to help them overcome any barriers to learning. Teachers and school administrators should also be trained to create an inclusive environment that respects and values diversity. 3. Encourage participation. Schools should encourage children to participate in decision-making processes that affect their education and well-being. This includes involving them in school governance, student councils, and other decision-making bodies. Teachers and school administrators should also provide opportunities for children to express their views and opinions on matters that affect them. 4. Respect child rights. Schools should respect the rights of every child, including their right to education, health, and protection from harm. Teachers and school administrators should ensure that every child is treated with dignity and respect and that their rights are upheld at all times. 5. Fulfill responsibilities. Schools should fulfill their responsibilities towards children, including providing a safe and secure learning environment, delivering quality education, and promoting the well-being of every child. Teachers and school administrators should also work with parents and guardians to ensure that children receive the support they need to succeed in school. 6. Promote child participation. Children have a right to participate in matters that affect their lives, including their education. Schools should provide opportunities for children to participate in decision-making processes such as class meetings, school clubs, and student councils. This encourages children to develop leadership skills and take responsibility for their education and well-being. 7. Provide quality education. The Basic Education Act requires that every child in Kenya has access to quality education. Schools should ensure that they provide a comprehensive education that equips children with the knowledge and skills they need to succeed in life. This includes a focus on academic subjects as well as life skills such as critical thinking, problem-solving, and decision-making. 8. Protect children from harm. Schools should take steps to protect children from harm, including abuse, neglect, and exploitation. This includes training teachers and staff to identify and report cases of abuse or neglect, as well as creating a safe and secure learning environment that is free from violence, bullying, and discrimination. 9. Respect child privacy. The Children's Act requires that the privacy of every child be respected. Schools should ensure that they respect the privacy of children, including their personal information and communications. This includes ensuring that children's personal information is kept confidential and that their communications are not monitored or intercepted without their consent. 10. Fulfill parental responsibilities. Parents have a responsibility to ensure that their children receive an education and are protected from harm. Schools should work with parents to fulfill this responsibility, including providing regular communication about their child's progress and addressing any concerns or issues that may arise. In conclusion, upholding legal provisions on the rights and responsibilities of the child in school requires a commitment to creating a safe, inclusive, and supportive environment for every child to thrive. By working together, schools, parents, and the community can ensure that every child receives the education and support they need to achieve their full potential. And that, dear teacher trainees, marks the end of this lesson on the national laws on the rights and responsibilities of the child. Thank you for joining us in this lesson. We hope that you found it valuable and helpful towards your diploma teacher training course. Remember, your role as an educator goes beyond imparting knowledge, you're shaping the future by empowering young minds. Stay committed to continuous learning and professional development. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more educational content, and feel free to leave your questions and comments below. See you in the next video.